What's up, everybody? Welcome to one of the best episodes of the year. It's Game Nights,
the fan episode. Woo! Yeah, this is an episode we do every single year. We did auditions a little while ago, and we chose 2 lucky fans. We flew them out to Los Angeles to sit at that table back there and play against Jimmy and myself on an episode, the episode you're watching of Game Nights.
Yeah, welcome Allie and Saul to the table. It's going to be a really fun game. We can't wait. But when the fan episode arrives, you know what that means. We are now open for auditions for the next fan episode.
That's right. If you would like to join the show, sit down on Game Nights, be knighted by Jimmy and myself, have a chance to battle for eternal commander glory on the show, on the fan episode for next year, then you can audition right now. There's a link in the show notes. Just click on that. It will give you all of the instructions.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the episode, but we won't get too much into it now because first we gotta talk about our sponsors. A big thanks and shout out to cardkingdom.com/command. If you're looking to soup up your deck so that you know exactly what you're gonna talk about on your audition when you come to try and beat us in Commander, then you wanna check out cardkingdom.com/command. They are the card retailer that we trust our own decks to, whether it's Game Nights Live or Game Nights at home here in the studio. We use cardkingdom.com/command so that we
I think that name's already taken.
Darn it. So we use cardkingdom.com/command to get all of our cards in one convenient package. That way we are ready to go the moment it shows up on our doorstep. We're not waiting for multiple packages to arrive from different places. We get the cards that we need, whether it's the newest sets that just came out or the ones that we're still getting caught up on, because Card Kingdom has a huge inventory with tons of cards to choose from. And that way we are ready to go and ready to fight whoever comes into our doors.
Yeah. Into our doors?
Into our doorstep?
Yeah.
Whoever arrives at our doorstep. There we go.
Like the fans that we're about to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah. And of course, once you get those cards, you want to keep them protected. UltraPro.com/command is the best place to go to get your game accessories. If you want dice, you want deck boxes, you want sleeves, you want playmats, you want the best in the business that's going to make sure that your cards don't get damaged. UltraPro.com/command is the place to go to pick up all of that stuff. We love their new Mana 8 line. We've been talking about it a lot. If you haven't seen this, it is very classy. It's very, very high quality. It's great if you want people to sign things. We signed a lot of these at MagicCon Vegas recently. The Sharpie just looks really nice on them. But even if that's not the case, it really helps you organize your stuff because you know for sure, like that's the blue deck, that's the red deck. That binder's where my blue cards go. Mana 8 products from UltraPro, can't recommend them highly enough. UltraPro.com/command is the best place to go to get that stuff.
And really exciting, we are currently running a Kickstarter right now for a new Game Nights deck box. The original deck box was one of our highest selling Kickstarters of all time, and we're so excited to bring this new deck box because it is the perfect storage solution and transport solution for your Commander decks. It has spaces for 2 100 double sleeve decks, as well as 1 middle compartment for your dice, tokens, or another 60 card double sleeve deck, or even a single sleeve 100 card deck, whatever you want. This is a really flexible solution so that you can put all of your amazing Commander decks in a high quality and protected space. I use these deck boxes to travel around the world with me, and I've used my current deck boxes for years now. So they're a really high quality, beautiful product and only available on Kickstarter.
Yeah, and the thing we're doing that we didn't do last time that a lot of people asked for is we're offering a signed version of this deck box. So if you want Jimmy, Rachel, myself, our names in that silver Sharpie that pops so well on that awesome interior lining, there's a link in the show notes. Lock in your order via the Kickstarter. Kickstarters are a limited time only thing, so you want to make sure that you get it. And we are aiming to try and get these deck boxes to everybody in their hands by Christmas.
All right, so check out that Kickstarter link in the show notes below, as well as the link for the Patreon audition. There's so much going on, but the thing that we got to get to right now is the fan episode.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Jimmy, but whenever the fans come into our house, we must protect this house.
We got to protect this house. Let's go.
How's it, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Game Nights.
It is the one, the only fan episode.
No. The guests, they're you. They're the fans.
We had so many fans audition this time around, and we had a blast going through all of those tapes, but in the end, only 2 could make it through, so we're so happy to introduce them to you now.
Hi everybody, my name is Allie. I'm one of the fan audition winners. I'm from Southwest Kansas, so kind of a rural area. And a really fun fact is I also do pageants. Sometimes I do Miss Kansas and sometimes I'm Miss LGS. It just depends on the day. What shoes I'm wearing too.
Hey everyone, my name is Saul Padilla. I also go by Saul. I'm from Austin, Texas. My parents are from Mexico, so si hablo español. I am also the executive producer of a tabletop RPG stream called Turntables RPG on Twitch and YouTube. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be here on Game Nights.
And today the fans have brought on their own homebrew decks to take us on.
I definitely don't want to underestimate Josh and Jimmy, but at the same time, can you teach an old dog new tricks?
The deck I'm playing is Heliod, the Radiant Dawn.
Bow before my radiant glory.
But this deck is really about the backside of my commander, the Warped Eclipse. It gives my spells flash, which you know I love, and discounts them as my opponents draw cards. So I've got a handful of wheel spells and other symmetrical draw effects to give me some major cost reduction. Then I'll flash out some high cost finishers for cheap and steal a surprise victory.
The commander I'll be playing today is Nahiri, Forged in Fury.
You have only made me stronger!
This is an equipment aggro deck that plans to get card advantage for my commander. And my equipment is super efficient and sometimes even comes with a body thanks to effects like Living Weapon or 4 Mirrodin. As I attack and dig through my deck, I'll find the pieces I need to grow my well-armed board into a game-ending force.
My commander is Gimbal, Gremlin Prodigy.
Another mechanical masterpiece!
This deck wants to make a wide variety of artifact tokens, so my commander can create supersized gremlins. Once my workshop is all up and running, I'll trample the table and take home the win.
Today I'm playing Zaxara the Exemplary.
Zaxara. We're gonna make a lot of hydras, 'cause 6 heads are better than 1.
I call this brew Heat on X Games mode, because it's all about casting big X spells. I'm gonna ramp as fast as possible early, then I'm gonna start pouring that mana into X spells while my commander makes me some huge hydras. With my board of big attackers, I'll crush the Game Nights for a fantastic finish.
All right, fans, let's battle.
Let's get extra.
Victory knows only one name, Saul Padilla.
I guess we'll see if they're still fans after this.
Welcome to the table, everyone. As always, the first thing we gotta do is reveal these amazing Ultra Pro playmats. Boom!
Nice.
Okay, well, it is both of your first time on the show, so we all know what that means. I dub thee, Sir Saul. Arise.
Lo hice ma, hola.
And I dub thee, Dame Allie. Arise!
Hi Mom, I'm on Game Nights.
Yeah! All right, that means there's only one thing left to say. You know what it is. Welcome to Game Nights, everybody.
Only
one may stand.
All right, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I will draw for turn, and then I will play Soporific Springs. Tapped. Take it away, Saul.
All right, first draw of Game Nights.
First draw of Game Nights.
Don't mess it up.
First land will be Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth.
We have forests?
And I will tap for a Gilded Goose, which will enter the battlefield and create a food token.
Nom 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 nom.
Nice.
This card is really great because it allows me to tap for mana, which will help me in the early game, and create food tokens that will be really useful in the mid game for Gimbal.
And then can we just get one honk?
Honk!
That honk, pretty accurate. I swear there was a goose next to me.
I think that's the best honk that could have
Sal's
happened.
clearly been around a lot of geese, yeah.
We all have some goose trauma, like somewhere, you know? Like, they've got teeth on their tongues, they're crazy. Was I expecting to break my voice on Game Nights? No, but
It's okay.
And then that'll be my turn, so I'll pass.
All right, I'll draw for turn. I will play a Windbrisk Heights. That's gonna enter tapped, and it has Hideaway. So I'll look at the top 4 cards in my library. I'll choose this card to exile under it. The card I put under this Hideaway land is a pretty spicy one, and the thing is, my deck does want to attack with a lot of creatures, so there's a pretty good chance you're gonna see this later on. That'll do it for me. Pass turn.
Perfect. First draw. I will play an Overgrown Tomb tapped. I'll
Nice.
pass the turn.
All right, I will untap, I will draw. And I will play something you're all gonna like. It is Quain.
Oh, itinerant meddler.
Yeah, itinerant meddler. I was definitely not choking on the word itinerant.
Yeah, no.
With my commander, I want my opponents to be drawing extra cards. So this is just along that game plan. Yeah, so, you know, I'm everybody's friend.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will untap and draw. Let's see here. Okay, this is also going to be kind of wild. So for my land for the turn, I'm going to play a mountain, and then I will tap the Yavimaya Cradle of Growth to play a Soul Ring. And then I'm going to tap the Soul Ring for 2 colorless mana, tap Gilded Goose, and crack the food token for a blue, and play a Rhystic Study.
Oh my gosh.
What in the heck?
I'm so sorry. Excuse me, what?
A turn 2 Rhystic Study with a Soul Ring.
Saul is having one of those openings that you dream about.
You learn from the best, and you just can't help yourself sometimes.
What the heck, dude?
Everything's bigger in Texas, including our turn 2s.
Is that it,
Yes,
Mr.
pass the turn.
Mr. Saul? Okay.
I think that deserves another honk.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have another one.
Oh, you definitely have another one in you. Okay, I'll play a Prismatic Vista. I will immediately crack it, search my library for a mountain, and I'll go to 39. I'm gonna tap 2 mana, and then I'm gonna play a Glimmer Lens.
Nice.
And this card has 4 Mirrodin. So it will enter with a 2/2 Rebel and attach to it. My deck has a very linear strategy. Put equipment down, swing with creatures, and take people's life totals down to 0.
Rhystic?
I will not pay the 1 because I cannot. You can draw a card, Saul.
I appreciate that, Jimmy.
I'm not slowing anything down to play around this Rhystic Study. I just gotta get my game plan online and go. All right, Allie, your turn.
Cool. I will untap my land. I will draw my card for turn. I will play a forest, and I will say go. Go for it.
Whoa.
No turn 2 play.
No turn 2 play. I'm starting to think my hand is a little bit on the slower side. Everybody else is playing a lot of stuff. I'm worried I might not be able to keep up.
I'm gonna tap 2, and I will cast Anvil of Bogarden.
Ooh.
The thinking here is similar to Quain. I want my opponents drawing more cards so that I can eventually reduce my spells.
So Josh plays the Anvil, which means I don't have a maximum hand size, and I have a Rhystic Study. Did he just put gasoline on my fire? Trigger Rhystic Study?
I am gonna pay the 1, like a responsible adult.
Yeah.
The IRS must love you.
All right, so go ahead.
Okay, untap, draw. I'll draw a second one for Anvil. I will discard a Loyal Apprentice. Sorry, bud. So then I will tap a mountain in my Soul Ring in order to play Full Shock Factory.
Sweet.
And go ahead and pass.
Sal is still definitely ahead of everyone else, but now it looks like he's kind of back in setup mode.
We just gotta bide our time and let Rhystic Study do its thing.
Thanks to Anvil of Bogarden, I will draw 2 cards, and then I will discard 1. I'll discard a Sacred Foundry.
Yep.
I'll play a Sundown Pass as my land for turn, and then I'm gonna tap 2 and cast a Mask of Memory.
Wow, a lot of card draw in this game already.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't mind when my opponents are putting card draw engines out onto the battlefield, because them drawing cards is eventually very good for me.
I will not pay the Rhystic
What a gracious host.
because I'm going to tap 1 and immediately equip that to my Rebel. Go to combat, and Sal, I don't think you're blocking with the Goose, so I'm gonna come at you for 2 damage.
You know what, Jimmy? You're right. I'm gonna take the 2. I'll go from 40 to 38.
Okay, that's gonna trigger my Mask of Memory. I will draw 2 cards, and then I will discard Mary, Esquire of Rohan, and pass to you, Allie.
All right. I don't have any lands to untap, so I will draw my card for turn, and then I will draw for the Anvil, and I will discard Disciple of Freyalise.
Cool.
And I will play a Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. Tapping 3 for that. My commander makes a lot of big creatures, and those are gonna make Selvala tap for a ton of mana. And this is an X-Spell deck, so I can put that mana to good use. So it'll come in handy down the road.
Rhystic Study trigger?
I unfortunately cannot pay. You can have the card.
Thanks, Allie.
And I will pass the turn. Go for it.
On your end step, Allie, I am going to activate Quain, and we will all draw a card.
Thank you.
And then we will all gain 1 life. One of the things I like about Quain is you get to determine when you activate it. And it's way more powerful to do it on the end step before your turn, because yeah, everybody gets to draw a card, but you're the first person that gets to use yours, which is a bit of an advantage. I will discard, commit to memory, and I am going to bring them out, Heliod, the Radiant Dawn.
Bask in my light's reflection.
Blinding.
Blinded by the light.
Can we keep that?
I feel a little bad playing my commander and not getting an enchantment out of my graveyard, but I feel like I have to do it because I need to get Heliod flipped over next turn so my deck can really start doing its thing.
Ristic Study trigger?
Yeah, I can't pay, so go ahead, Saul, you can draw.
And then my Selvala triggers because it is the biggest creature that hits.
Sweet! I've never drawn off somebody else's Saul before, yeah.
Selvala, man, come on. You're supposed to help me, not Josh. It's fine, it won't happen again.
All right, well, that was mostly awesome. Saul, go ahead.
All right, at the end of your turn, I'm going to activate Gilded Goose and make a food token. And because I use Volshock Factory to do so, I will add a charge counter. Okay, I'll go ahead and untap, draw 2. I will discard a Farseek.
Yep.
For my land for the turn, I'm going to play an Urza's Saga.
That's pretty good.
That'll come in chapter 1. I think we are entering into a very interesting place in the game right now. So I'm gonna shake things up a little bit and place Shiny Impetus on Heliod.
Whoa!
Originally, I was going to save the Shiny Impetus for one of Allie's Hydras, but it makes a lot more sense to place it on Heliod and put some pressure on the rest of the table to remove Josh's commander.
All right, well, he's a 6/6 now that can't attack Saul,
But has to attack.
but has to attack. The big problem will be if I ever have a moment where it's not big enough that it can have a free attack. Until then, as long as it can stay alive, I don't mind if I'm hitting other players or not.
Following up that, I'm also gonna play Circuits Act.
Oh, time to make some robots.
There we go.
So
He rolls 3 6-sided die. For each different result, he makes a 1/1.
I mean, I would prefer to 3, but even getting 1 would still help me with getting a differently named token. So I'm gonna roll 3 dice,
Nice.
and I will get 3 clown tokens.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Circuit Act.
The clowns.
Honk, honk. Is that? I think it's a better honk than Saul's still.
I'll pass to Jimmy.
Okay, I'll untap and I'll draw 2 cards, and I will discard an Othari Sun's Glory. Okay, so news update, everyone. I don't have a land drop right now. I shouldn't have discarded that land last turn because I thought I figured drawing 4 cards thanks to the anvil, I would get there. I did not.
I mean, all you got to do is just not be that greedy.
I'm not gonna say he deserved it, but he did discard a land.
I'll discard a Sacred Foundry. I'm kind of in desperation mode now. I'm hoping the fans are down to maybe get a little political and help me out. Allie, want to make the first deal of game nights?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so I would love, if you took 2 damage, you get an uncashed favor that you can cash in later on in the game.
Okay, so we're just writing blank checks.
Really? Like maybe just like something more finite.
A blank check for a land for Jimmy Wong, and it's not even guaranteed, by the way.
It isn't guaranteed.
It isn't guaranteed with Mask of Memory.
She doesn't block. I'm like, how's she
Yeah.
gonna give you a land?
I mean, he's hitting me with a 2/2, and I get a blank check to cash in at any time? Yeah, no, this sounds like a really great deal. Sign me up. You know, I think I'll let that happen. I went up to 41. I'll let it happen.
All right, I'm gonna go to combat as the happy man I am.
Go for
and I'm
it.
gonna swing at you for just a measly 2 damage. Look, a blank check deal is kind of a bad idea, but I think it's even worse if I miss my land drops. So I'm just gonna do whatever it takes, and if this comes back to bite me in the butt, so be it. So again,
What if there's no land?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. So the Mask of Memory will trigger. I will draw 2 cards.
You didn't draw a land, and you gave me a blank. No, okay.
I'm brilliant.
This is the most Jimmy crap ever. Remember, he had the land last turn and he discarded it on purpose. Can we play that clip again?
I'll discard a Sacred Foundry.
You know what, but all is not lost. I do have one more way of drawing a card on this turn. I will tap 2 and I'll play SRAM Senior Edificer.
Okay, more
I will
card draw.
not pay for Ristic Study. And then I'll tap 1 mana and I'll play a Bloodforged Battle Axe, which I will also not pay for Ristic Study, but that is gonna trigger my SRAM. And I will draw 1 more card.
This is probably terrible for audio.
It's not a land, I'll pass turn. This sucks. Okay, how many cards have I drawn now between the last turn and this one?
I just want to remind you, in case you missed it, he had the land last turn and he discarded it. Can we play that clip again, please?
All discard a Sacred Foundry.
When we're talking about the Game Nights experience, Jimmy Wong getting mana screwed is kind of the Game Nights experience.
Why do I do this to myself?
I'm going to untap. I will draw my 2, and then I will discard Voral of the Whole Clade, and I think it's time. I'm gonna cast Zaxara.
Woohoo!
Zaxara. We're gonna make a lot of hydras, 'cause 6 heads are better than 1.
Honk.
My commander is amazing because not only is it a mana door, whenever I cast an X spell, I get to create an XX Hydra, and I am all about casting X spells.
Ristic Study trigger?
I will pay. And then I will go ahead and pass my turn.
Okay, on your end step, Jimmy, cross your fingers. I'm gonna activate Quain, and we will all draw one.
And gain a life. It wasn't a land.
No? No! Holy crap, the universe is like...
It's just like, yeah, you should have done that, kiddo. Yeah.
I will untap, and I will draw 2 because of the anvil, and then I will discard Gier Reach Sanitarium. Okay, and then I'm going to tap 3, and I'll pay 2 life to activate Heliod to transform him into the Warped Eclipse.
Yep. Now transformed, Heliod's going to cut down the cost of Josh's spells for every card that we all draw. And you may not have noticed, but I'm drawing a lot of cards.
Jimmy, I'm sorry to add insult to injury here, but I can't swing into the Death Toucher, so I'm gonna go to combat, and I'm gonna swing at you for 6.
Okay.
On that attack, Shiny Impetus will trigger, and I will create a treasure.
And I will create no blockers. And I'll take 6. And go to 35. Quain time, draw me a land.
I'll tell you what, I feel bad about smacking you. Don't be mean to me. I'll do it on his end step though, because I don't want him to have the extra card because he's kind of ahead right now.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Who said that?
Saul's start to this game has been pretty good, and you often find that when somebody gets an early Ristic Study.
He's got way more mana than the rest of us, more cards.
If we keep not paying for any of the Ristic Study triggers, then we're gonna start to have a problem.
All right, well, let's see how much worse it gets. Saul, take it away.
All right, I will go ahead and untap, draw 2. After my draw step, Urza Saga will go to chapter 2, and then I will go ahead and tap the Soul Ring in order to create the construct.
How big is the construct?
It's an 8/8.
Ooh.
I think people underestimate just like really big things in Commander, but the fact that this construct's gonna keep getting bigger and he probably makes another one next turn, it makes me a little bit nervous.
Well, that means Selvala will trigger. I think it's the biggest creature, so you'll get to draw.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, Urza Saga, even more broken.
No kidding.
Make a construct, draw a card?
It happened again, and I haven't drawn off of Selvala once.
And then now I will go ahead and play Storm the Vault.
Oh, crap.
Whoa. This card, if it transforms, is absolutely bonkers for him.
When it flips, it turns into the banned card.
Talarian Academy.
Yeah.
Oh, the back of that is basically a Talarian Academy. If you didn't know, Talarian Academy is really good.
How many artifacts you want?
If you have 5 more, oh, it's definitely transforming.
He just has so many tokens.
Yeah.
I don't
Loud and
see
clear.
anything.
Loud.
I don't see what you're seeing at all.
Glasses, none of us can see.
This is bad because it's gonna tap for a bajillion mana, and he has a bajillion cards in his hand.
I'm gonna go straight to my end step.
If he just goes da 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 and plays like 12 things, there's no way we're gonna have a chance in this game.
Storm the Vault will trigger. I'm excited. I've been practicing how to say Vault of Katlakan for a while now. I'm really excited to say it live in front of everybody.
I cannot let this thing stick around. Okay, in response to that trigger, before it transforms,
No, Josh, please.
I'm gonna tap a white.
Okay.
And because you've drawn 3 cards this turn, this spell is reduced by 3. It is cast out.
Oh, good.
And I am going to target and exile the Storm the Vault.
On that cast, before it resolves, Ristic Study?
Oh, I don't want you to draw an answer, so I am gonna pay that one.
Wow.
Cast out resolves?
Yes, it does.
All right, Storm the Vault gets exiled.
No! My Volta Katlakan.
It's not the best answer because if he removes the cast out at some point later, he will get the Storm the Vault back. But even just holding this off for a couple of turns is a big deal.
With that, no transformation happens. I will go ahead and pass the turn to Jimmy.
All right, as promised, Jimmy, I'm gonna activate Quain.
I did not draw a land.
Jeez.
Okay, Jimmy, I can help you a little bit more, and it is advantageous for me to play this now since all my spells are reduced by 6.
Wow.
Jimmy, Howling Mine.
Hey!
Ristic trigger.
Yeah, you go ahead. I was gonna wait and flash out the Howling Mine before my turn, but what fun is it if Jimmy's not hitting land drops? I'll help him, even though I want to remind you that he chose to put a land into the graveyard earlier in the game. We should play that clip.
I'll discard.
Discard.
I believe in you.
With 3 cards, it's gotta be in there.
It's gotta be.
All right.
Don't over jinx it to the other direction. Come on.
Yeah. All right, let's untap, and I'll draw 1, 2, 3 cards, thanks to Howling Mine and Amulet Bogart in. It's a land! Woo! Wow, and I'll discard it.
All of that work. All of that
Just
work for nothing.
kidding. It's an Urza Saga. Yeah.
Twinsies.
All right, I finally hit my land drop. It is a land that does sacrifice itself after a few turns, but at least I'm kind of back on schedule. Okay, I think I gotta go like this. I will play a Bureau Headmaster.
Nice.
That will trigger Ristic Study. I'm not gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
A lot of cards gonna get drawn here, guys. I'm so sorry. This is the only way I can try and get to a board state that can threaten.
You know, there's some pros to Jimmy being mana screwed this game.
And then I will play a Zephyr Boots for free, thanks to the Bureau Headmaster. That will trigger my SRAM, so I will draw a card for that. That is gonna trigger Ristic, and guess what? You're gonna draw a card.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I will pay 1 mana, and I will equip my Zephyr Boots onto my Rebel token. And then I will pay a red, and I will play a Fervent Champion.
Oh.
It's got First Strike and Haste. That's gonna trigger Ristic Study. You can draw.
Yep.
I love this creature because it's cheap and it's super mana efficient and incredibly hard to block. I'm gonna be able to swing with this thing this turn, and with that First Strike on it, almost guaranteed it's coming in for some damage. I'll equip the Bloodforge Battle Axe onto the Fervent Champion for free because of its ability. And then I will move to combat, and I will swing the Rebel at you, Saul, and the Fervent Champion is coming at you, Allie.
That's fair.
Both those creatures attacking triggers my Glimmerland, so I will draw a card, and then we'll go to blocks.
Okay, I have no blocks. Take 3, go down to 38.
I will also not block. And I will go down from 41 to 39.
Great. I will have 3 combat damage triggers.
Yep.
I'll draw 2 cards from Mask of Memory and discard a Codsworth Handy Helper. And then I will draw from Zephyr Boots and discard the Iron Crag.
Oh, that's sick.
And then finally, I'll create a copy of Bloodforge Battle Axe,
Scary.
which I will then equip to the Fervent Champion and pass the turn.
That was instant board. Pretty impressive.
Even though I'm still really far behind, I feel much better about my position. As long as people don't mess with my board state, I'm gonna be able to get a lot of damage in every single turn.
All right. I will draw 3 cards and discard a Cyclonic Rift.
What in the hell?
Whoa, what is going on here?
I thought it was crazy earlier when Jimmy discarded a land, but Allie just discarded Cyclonic Rift.
Allie has got to have something up her sleeve, right?
What are the other cards in her hand?
I will play a Sunken Hollow as my land for turn.
Okay.
Rift is really good against the token.
Rift is. There's some stuff on the battlefield, yes, but at this point, I don't even care what anybody else is doing. I just want to work on my board. Let me cook, okay? Let me cook. I will tap for a Soul Ring.
Okay.
Ristic Study trigger.
I will not pay, you can have the card. And then I will tap to activate Selvala and tap the rest of my mana, except for Zaxara, to play Sporocyst, where X is equal to 3. So it's a 3/3. And when that enters, I will search for 2 forests and an island. They will enter tapped. This Sporocyst could have been for more mana, but right now it's gonna serve the purpose I need it to, which is just gonna be get me out some more lands.
Ristic Study trigger.
I will not pay. On cast, Zaxara will trigger, so I will get a 3/3 Hydra. And with that, Josh, I will pass to you.
It looks like Allie just took another turn to set up here, and that makes me even more scared of what is sitting in her hand waiting to be cast.
My expectation is next turn, she's really gonna start casting some big X spells and getting some beef on her board. This game is heating up.
This game is heating up. I'll make a joke about that in the talking head. Things are really heating up.
Hey everyone, we've got something cool we want to share with you.
Yeah, I, like a lot of you out there I know, I'm trying to eat healthier. And that's not always easy, but something that's helped me a lot lately is HelloFresh.
Yeah, it can be really tough to find time to figure out a healthy diet, let alone grocery shopping or meal planning.
But HelloFresh takes care of everything. It's the meal kit service that makes it super easy and convenient to eat healthy.
HelloFresh delivers step-by-step recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients right to your door. And if you sign up now, you'll get one free breakfast item in every box for life.
Now look, I would get bored if I had to eat the same thing all the time, but HelloFresh has over 50 different recipes to choose from each week, including a huge range of protein-smart and calorie-smart options.
They offer a ton of flexibility to work around your schedule and even have quick and easy meals that take 20 minutes or less, like their chicken with maple Dijon sauce, so you can still eat healthy even when you're busy.
And when you sign up and order your first box, you're directly supporting this show and getting breakfast for life. So you get to start the day off right, and we get to keep making content.
It's a win-win. Click the link in the description or use our code COMMANDOCT10 and get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life.
One breakfast item per box while subscription is active if you're in the US. Outside the US, the local discount will apply.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Season's greetings, cool cats. This year, I, Jetmir, Nexus of Revels, will throw the most perfect holiday party. This whole crime family will come together as the Halo Fountain. Well, look. We may have used up all of our angel juice at my Meowloween masquerade, but fear not. I found a new source of hydration to keep everyone fully pumped. Liquid IV. It's the best way to stay hydrated through the holidays with 8 vitamins and nutrients plus 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. One stick of Liquid IV with 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone, so you can tear, pour, and live more. Never let the party leave you parched again, whether you need to stay vigilant on Commander Night, trample the dance floor, or double strike a pose on the runway. Proper hydration is a must. Halo was good, but this pina colada flavor is simply divine. Hey, how do they make this stuff?
No angels were harmed in the making of Liquid IV.
Stay hydrated through the holidays with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code COMMAND at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code COMMAND at liquidiv.com.
Yes! I win! Probably, anyway.
Probably. What's going on?
I just goldfished a huge turn on Architect. Check it out, they've got the best playtester in the business. Playing and tapping your cards is as simple as clicking them. Everything goes right where you want it, but you can drag things by hand and group them together in different ways too. Then there's easy shortcut keys for things like making copies, sending cards between zones, and starting the next turn.
Nice, so this is a Traxa. All that proliferating's gotta take a while.
It doesn't actually. Just right click and hit proliferate all counters.
Oh wow. Yeah, you probably do win.
I think so.
Architect is the best place to browse, brew, and playtest commander decks. Just go to architect.com/commandzone to get started.
That's archidekt.com/command-zone. All right, on your end step, Allie, because you have drawn 3 cards, I will flash out Ornithopter of Paradise for free. I can't pay for Ristic though, so go ahead, Saul.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then I will untap.
His deck is looking noticeably thinner than the rest of ours.
Yeah, his hand is his deck.
What?
We've all been drawing cards all game, but Saul's hand is loaded. No one's been paying for that Ristic study.
Even if it gets taken off the field and we don't have to deal with it, I think it's too far gone.
I will go to combat, and because of the goad, Heliod has to swing. Sorry, Jimmy.
It's okay,
It's
man.
the only thing I got. 6 coming your way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna block. I'll take 6 more commander damage and go to 30.
On that attack, it will trigger Shiny Impetus, and I'll get another treasure token.
I feel like everything I do, he gets something.
Yeah.
I cast spells, he
Yeah.
draws cards. I attack, he makes treasures.
The fans metagamed for this very well.
They did,
clearly.
they did. And then that's it.
Captain
I will pass
Flash.
the turn, yep. The great thing is, because my deck plays at flash speed, a lot of my strength is gonna be hidden. So it's gonna look like everybody else is ahead, even though there might be points when I am. And that's exactly where I like to be.
After I draw, Urza Saga will go to Chapter 3. But before I sacrifice it, I will activate it. So I'll get a second construct, and they're both 10/10s.
Oh gosh.
Actually, does that trigger Selvala?
No, not this time, because they're the same power toughness, so. Yeah, same size, doesn't trigger.
That's fair, that's fair.
You
I'm
have
already-
too many cards
Yeah, I'm
in
already
your
drawing.
hand.
That-
You don't need more cards. You really don't need more cards.
I learned from the best.
I respect it. I respect it. Yeah.
So now I'll sacrifice the Urza Saga. I will search my library and I will find a Retrofitter Foundry.
Oh.
This card in and of itself is really great for my strategy, but it is pretty mana hungry. It would be really nice to have the Vault of Galakan right now. I will play Tree of Tales, which is an artifact land, which will also bump up my constructs as well to 12/12s. So I'm going to bring out Gimbal Gremlin Prodigy.
Oh, another glorious gizmo!
Oh man, yep.
The scariest thing about Sal's commander is that it gives his artifact creatures trample. And I don't know if you've seen those constructs, but they're kind of huge.
Are you sure you didn't want to keep the Cyclonograph?
I know, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm really regretting discarding that Cyclonic Rift. I have blockers, but he's just gonna trample right over them. So can I do a takesies backsies, please?
I will go to combat, and I believe Josh has been at over 40 life for a good chunk of time. So, Josh, I will I will swing at you with a 12/12 trample.
Yeah, it's a good attack because he doesn't care that much about this construct. Like, do I use a removal spell against this thing? I don't think so. Okay, I'm not gonna block. I will take 12. Ugh! Sheesh. And go to 29.
Yikes.
That, I believe, will end my turn. Gimbal will trigger and create a 0/0 Gremlin artifact creature token, which will receive 5 1/1 counters because there are 5 differently named tokens on the field. Yay!
That's a lot of scrap metal over there.
I've finally kind of reached that step where I'm like impacting the board in a more meaningful way. I always knew Gimbal had it in him. There were doubters in the beginning, but the boy's got it.
The boy has got it.
Gimbal, he's a commander I've always wanted to make work, so I'm happy with what I have accomplished.
I will go ahead and draw 3 cards. I will discard a land, because now I have many in my hand.
You're gonna regret that decision.
I'm sure I will. Urza Saga will trigger and go to stage 2. I will play an Arena of Glory as my land for turn.
Okay.
I'm going to tap a red and the Arena of Glory for 2 red mana and exert it. And I'll cast my own Ornithopter of Paradise. That creature has haste.
Ristic Study trigger.
You can draw off the Ristic Study.
Thank you.
I will then cast Sigarda's Aid.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I love this little enchantment because, again, it helps me cheat the mana I need to pay for equip costs. And I'm already behind on mana, but the equipment I'm about to play is gonna help me a lot in that department.
Ristic Study trigger.
You can draw off the Ristic Study.
Thank you.
I will then cast a Sword of Feast and Famine.
Oh, that's a card. Oh boy, this is a real card, and it's gonna catch Jimmy up really quickly in the mana department, because it basically doubles the amount of lands that he has. So actually, it's really good that he missed his land drop earlier, because that'd be something he could untap and use twice per turn. Can we play that clip again? No? Okay, fine.
That will trigger my SRAM, so I will draw a card.
Also, Ristic Study trigger.
You can draw off the Ristic Study. Thanks to Sigarda's Aid, I can attach it to a creature I control, so this will go onto my Fervent Champion. It's a 7/3.
He's basically getting protection from my entire deck with protection from green and black. I don't have much defense against Jimmy at this point.
I will move to equip the Fervent Champion with the Zephyr Boots and the Mask of Memory for free. I'll move to combat. Saul,
hey.
I'm gonna swing this at you.
Okay.
He's got a 12/12 though.
I do.
It's flying.
Oh.
That's right.
The boots.
Oh, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
The boots. I will definitely take the 7 flying and go from 39 to 32.
All right. I have a lot of combat damage triggers here. First off, Mask of Memory, I'll draw 2 and discard a Spectator Seating. And then I'll have Zephyr Boots, I will draw a card and discard a Needle Verge Pathway. Sword of Feast and Famine will trigger. I will untap all of my lands.
That's the best one.
And then you will need to discard a card.
Oh man.
You've put me in a bind.
Oh wow, card disadvantage.
I'm going to
Take
discard
it. We
got him.
Slagwood's Bridge.
And then I have 2 Bloodforge Battle Axe triggers, so I'll create 2 more copies of that equipment. And because of Sigarda's Aid, they may automatically attach, so I'll toss them on the Ornithopter of Paradise.
That's the crazy one. That's gonna
Great.
Because
Yeah.
it's 8 next turn, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will cast Jor-Kadeen, First Gold Warden. I will not pay for the Ristic Study, so you can draw off that. And then I will activate my Urza Saga and create a construct. And then I'm just gonna pass turn. I'm actually feeling really good about my position here because I don't think anyone is seriously looking at my board state and thinking, we gotta take care of Jimmy. Which means that all I need to do is wait for players' life totals to get low enough, and this deck has the ability to one-shot players out of nowhere.
I will draw 3 for turn. I will discard 1 card. I'll shock in a Breeding Pool, take 2. And then I will start off by casting an Unbound Flourishing.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
Unbound Flourishing is the entire reason why I built this deck. I love this card. Being able to double my X spells is phenomenal, and this is really, really gonna help me out.
Ristic Trigger?
I will not pay. You can have the card.
In X spell decks, this is the card. So I know Allie's got something set up.
I don't know exactly how powerful her turn's gonna be, but no matter what, she's at least catching up to everyone else.
And then I'm gonna cast a Primordial Hydra, where X is equal to 4, but because of Unbound Flourishing, X will instead be 8. Zaxara will then trigger, so I will get an 8/8.
Just a free 8/8?
Just a
with
free
my other
8/8.
8/8?
Ristic Study?
I will not pay. And then I will cast the Great Henge for 2 mana.
Nice.
I will tap the Great Henge, gain 2 life going up to 38, and I will cast a Gier Sage. The Great Henge will trigger, so it will get a +1/+1 counter on it, and I will draw a card.
Okay, full discounted Great Henge is pretty good, but still nothing game ending.
I do believe I have Ristic Study triggers.
Yes, I will pay for it.
Fair enough.
Because then that leaves me with still enough to play Fangs of Colonia. For the overload cost.
Whoa!
Oh no.
Big timing.
This party's just getting started. Why overload a Cyclonic Rift when you can do this? So all of my creatures are gonna get a +1/+1 counter, and then I'll double all the counters.
Oh my god.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Ooh, okay, now we're talking. This increases the power on her board by a massive amount.
Ristic Study trigger?
I will not pay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The only silver lining here is she doesn't have trample on most of her creatures, but if she can do that, it's gonna get out of control really fast.
I'll just say pass the turn. I'm feeling really good at this point. I'm sitting at a really healthy life total. I have a lot of permanents on board, so if a couple of things get removed, I feel like I'm still in a good position.
Okay, on your end step, I'm gonna crack my Fabled Passage. And I will find an island, and I'll put that into play untapped. Okay, so Allie, you've drawn 4, and Saul, you've drawn 4, so my spells are reduced by 8.
Oh.
So what I'm gonna do is start off by tapping 2 and playing Psychic Possession.
Ooh.
So this is a really fun effect, and one you should think about putting in your arsenal if you play against people who draw a lot of cards, like me, or like Saul. I am going to target Saul. Whenever you draw a card, I gotta draw a card.
That's so cool.
Now Saul, who keep in mind has that Ristic Study on the board, is gonna benefit Josh now whenever he draws. It's like those two are psychically connected.
Suddenly, I have this overwhelming urge to put Sriracha on everything. Maybe go bench like 245, 255. I don't know, it's strange.
On cast, Ristic Study will trigger, you can draw.
Yeah, thanks.
When you draw that, Psychic Possession's not resolved yet, so I don't draw for that card.
For sure.
So that's 5 cards for Saul and 4 for Allie, so 9 reduction now. All right, then I'm going to pay a blue, and I'm gonna cast Words of Wisdom. So I will draw 2 cards, and then each other player will draw a card.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll draw 1 because Saul drew 1.
And Ristic Study?
Yep, you can draw.
Oh.
And when you draw, I will draw.
Here,
Josh
it
finally
starts.
found a way
Yeah,
to play
here we
Ristic
go.
Study.
Yeah.
There it is.
If you can't draw your own.
It's the most roundabout way, but it works. It works.
Got there, yeah.
I mean, Ristic Study is a May ability, so he can decide not to draw. We'll just see how much of a value player he really is. All right, then I'm going to tap a blue, and I'm going to play Shark Typhoon.
Nice, very good. Ooh, this card is so powerful for Josh. Every spell he casts is gonna pump out a flying shark. Now it's just about how many different spells can he chain together and how many sharks can he create.
It's gonna be a whirlwind of sharks, a hurricane of sharks, a tornado of sharks, a Jaws situation.
Ristic Study trigger, Saul, you can draw.
Got it.
And I will draw. Then I'm going to activate Queen, so we'll all draw.
Okay.
Well, you may draw, you don't have to. So I go to 30.
I'll go to 39.
I'll go to 33.
I'll go to 31.
And then when you drew Saul, I will also draw. I'll cast a Liquid Metal Torque. Shark Typhoon will trigger. I'll make a 2/2 flying shark.
Ristic Study.
Ristic Study will trigger. You're gonna draw. I will also draw. Okay. Then after that, I will tap my Ornithopter of Paradise for a blue, and then I will cast Days Undoing.
Oh.
Which is basically a time twister. There's a bunch of reasons to cast this right now. For one, my opponents have a ton of cards in hand, so it'll bring them all back down to 7. For 2, I'm actually gonna draw 14 because of that psychic possession. For 3, my cost reduction on my spells is gonna be up to like 40 at that point, so maybe I can find like an X spell or something super impactful and really put my foot on the gas.
Ristic Study trigger.
You can draw.
Okay.
I'm never gonna pay for it because every time you draw, I draw.
Okay. I do have a response to that. So with Days Undoing on the stack, I want to play this card before I have to shuffle it back into my library. I'm going to crack 1 treasure token for a green in order to channel Boseiju, targeting cast out.
Oh, okay. I can't stop a channeled thing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Saul's trying to get his big, impactful mana-producing card back here. I was like, yeah, sure, thank God he doesn't destroy my commander. Saul, you can have the Storm the Vault back, and I will search my library for a Prairie Stream and put that onto the battlefield untapped. All right, any other responses?
Yes. With Days Undoing still on the stack, I will tap for a white, and Josh, I'm gonna Path to Exile your commander.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Maybe I should have done it earlier, but so it goes.
Ah, this sucks. If Heliod dies, it turns off my ability to cast things at flash speed and means that all the cards I'm about to draw I won't be able to use. Unfortunately, I don't have a counterspell. I can't stop this. Maybe I can look for one.
So Ristic Study trigger?
I'm not gonna pay, but I also hope you don't draw because it's more cost reduction for Josh and more cards in his hand.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm gonna take your word for it.
Here comes that fist bump.
Yeah.
Now it's happening.
I think Saul not drawing here is really good because if he draws, he fuels Josh more.
The Ristic Study triggers have grown in complexity.
Now we're to the Path to Exile. Yeah, I gotta respond
Underneath
to
that is a Shark Typhoon and then Days Undoing.
all right.
Stack.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm gonna pay a blue, and I'm gonna cast Vision Skeins. We will each draw 2 cards. I make a 2/2 Shark. Ristic Study trigger. I will not pay.
I will not draw.
Okay, so we all draw 2. I draw 2 more because of Psychic Possession. Then still before Path to Exile resolves, I'll just flash out Blightsteel Colossus for free.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
No!
He said that so casually. He said that so casually.
Just trying to sneak it in there so you wouldn't notice.
Huh?
Whatever, you can just block it.
Well, I mean, so normally, if somebody drops a Blightsteel Colossus on the table, it's game over for somebody. But we all have really big creatures.
I don't know, you look around the board and there's a bunch of Hydras and constructs that are bigger than it, so it's a little bit anticlimactic. On the Blightsteel cast, Ristic trigger, do you want to draw, Saul?
I'm not gonna draw.
Okay, and then still before Path to Exile has resolved, I'm going to pay a white, I'm gonna cast Soul Partition, and I'm gonna target the Storm the Vault.
Oh, wait. You know, they say don't meet your heroes, but honestly, this tracks for what I thought was gonna happen with Josh Lee Kwai.
It exiles it, but basically it's just gonna cost you 2 more to cast.
Okay.
So I'll make another 2/2 Shark. There's a Ristic Study trigger.
I will not draw.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't find a way to stop the Path to Exile, so it's going to happen. And now I believe I'm gonna have to let that Path to Exile resolve, so Heliod gets exiled and goes back to my command zone. And I will find an island, and then we're down to the Shark Typhoon trigger on the Days Undoing, so I'll make a 3/3 flyer, and then Days Undoing resolves.
Yep.
Days Undoing resolves.
Okay, so we all shuffle our hand and graveyard into our library. This isn't how I hoped it would go because I'm gonna draw a lot of cards but not be able to cast most of them. But the upside has been that I've been making a lot of sharks along the way. I do have just a lot of incidental little flyers out there, which is making me feel safer than I was before. All right, and then we will all draw 7 cards. But because of Psychic Possession, I'll draw another 7. Because Saul drew 7, so I draw 14.
Doubling up. I had a couple of cards in my hand that I wanted to play, but I'll take a new hand.
The amount of cards that I had in my hand got reduced dramatically. It's not great.
14 cards in hand, but I can't cast things at flash speed anymore, and I only have 2 colorless mana. That was probably an oversight. But the good news is that was Allie's end step.
Whoa.
Yes, it was.
Wild. Okay.
Before I pass my turn, because we have drawn plenty of cards, I'm gonna cast Even the Score. It costs 3 blue less if an opponent has drawn 4 or more cards.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
X is gonna be equal to 2, and it'll double with Unbound Flourishing. So I will draw 4 cards. Zaxara will then trigger, so I will get a Hydra.
Ristic Study trigger?
Unfortunately, I don't have the mana to pay.
I will draw.
All right, I'll also draw.
Oh my gosh.
And now I think my turn is done.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Can I go to my turn now?
That was insane.
Your turn took forever.
My turn took, I'm so sorry. My turn took so long. Sorry guys, I promise I'll keep it shorter and concise next time. I will pass the turn to you, Josh.
Thank you.
Take your second turn.
That's very courteous of you.
So I draw a few cards that will help me out. I see a clear path to victory here. Once it gets back to my turn, I can do what I want to do, but I just have to endure 3 more turns. Possibly another Josh turn in there, depending on what he wants to play.
I will untap. Then I will not draw because Psychic Possession exists and is a card that says skip your draw step. So I won't draw the 3 cards that I could have drawn. That's okay. Look at this.
Look at that. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. See how it feels? See how it feels, Saul? See? How do you feel now?
I was very demure, very mindful with my cards over here.
Very demure.
No,
very
that's what we call
mindful.
hiding. Yeah. So I'm gonna start off by tapping for 6, and I'm gonna cast Heliod, the Radiant Dawn again. Heuristic Study trigger.
I will not draw.
Okay. Then I am going to pay 2 life and 3 more mana, and I will transform Heliod, the Radiant Dawn. So it's 9 mana to cast Heliod and then get him transformed, which doesn't leave me with a ton of mana left over, but I think it's the only move I have because he kind of gives me that mana back eventually. I am gonna activate Queen.
All right.
So we'll all draw. You may draw.
I will draw.
I will draw.
I will not draw. It is very clear to me that Josh is a threat. Even if everybody else is drawing, I have to be the lone voice of dissent. I have to put a stop to it.
I will flash out Thought Vessel for free, Heuristic Study.
I will not draw.
Okay. I will flash out Talisman of Progress for free, Heuristic Study.
I will not draw.
Okay. I will tap this Talisman for a blue, going down to 28. And it's a little weird, but I'm gonna play Fairy Mastermind.
Oh.
Heuristic Study trigger on the Fairy Mastermind.
I will not draw.
Yeah, it's funny because Fairy Mastermind, I can just cast it at any time, but we're about to go to Saul's turn where he will have to draw on his draw step multiple cards, and I just want to get the extra card when he does. So I play Fairy Mastermind at sorcery speed. Sue me. I'll make 2 more 2/2 sharks, and then, am I really not gonna attack with this Blightsteel Colossus?
We all got some chunky dudes out here.
We're at a point in the game where the board is really clogged up. I think this benefits me and Josh the most because my equipment can help punch through damage, and Josh has that army of flying sharks. An evasion like that is how you close out a game like this.
And then, Saul, it's your turn, go ahead.
Okay, untap.
You're gonna draw 3 still.
That's right.
I will draw 3.
Yep.
Because of the Psychic Possession, and then I will draw 1 from the Fairy Mastermind because you drew your second card in there.
Okay, this is interesting. All right.
Interesting.
I'm going to cast Quark Clan Ironworks.
Oh!
Ruh-roh.
This is one of those cards that is a huge combo piece in so many decks and also gives Saul access to all the mana that Josh has been restricting him on the entire game.
Wait, do I need to stop that is my question.
Sure, yeah.
It's the type of card that the game could be over.
It could, but I don't think he's willing to sacrifice his board state.
Yeah.
The problem is once it's there, I can't do anything. It's up to you guys once it hits the board. I have limited mana. I'm not gonna be able to stop everything my opponents do. And my chance of winning this game is really gonna depend on if I make the right choice about what to interact with. This might be a mistake. I have no response.
I got nothing.
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
I also have nothing.
When I played Quark Clan Ironworks, Josh hesitated. Basically made it clear that he had some kind of response.
My hope is that whatever Josh does, he's wasting removal and counterspells on Sal's stuff before anything that I do.
I'm going to sacrifice all my clown robots to the Ironworks for 6 colorless mana.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna tap 2 green, and I'm gonna use 5 of the floating colorless to play Displaced Dinosaurs.
Oh.
Ooh.
This card, I have been dying to play with Gimbal for the longest amount of time. Not in playtesting, not in my pod have I been able to get it out and get it going, but I'm gonna take this chance because it's gonna be really cool.
Now is Josh gonna care about this?
Yeah.
No response.
Okay, so then if that's the case, I'm gonna play Oko, Thief of Crowns.
The air is getting colder, but me, I'm just as hot.
Oko.
Okay.
All right, well this card, unfortunately, is removal for my commander. And if I don't have my commander, I can't stop everybody from winning the game. So I can't really let Saul have it. All right, you got me.
Yeah.
I will cast Arcane Denial.
Smart.
Heuristic Study?
I will not draw from the Heuristic Study.
Okay.
So he did have a counter spell. I don't know if he has another one, but the more options we can get out of his hand, the better.
I'll make another 2/2 shark, so now I have 6.
Okay.
So then if that's the case, I will play Invasion of Kaladesh.
Oh, a battle.
When it enters the battlefield, I create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying, which comes in as a 7/7 dinosaur as well.
And he's got a 7/7 flyer now.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
And I'm gonna give the battle to Allie.
Oh, yay.
I will go ahead and go to my end step. That will trigger Gimbal, so I will create another gremlin token that will come in as a dinosaur.
Oh.
And that dinosaur will get 1/1 counters. It will be an 11/11.
Wow.
This dinosaur thing is actually really interesting deck design from Saul because a token's name is its types. So this dinosaur gremlin is different than the gremlin from before.
That's just really cool to me.
Okay, I will untap. And the Arena of Glory won't untap because it was exerted.
All right, Jimmy, on your upkeep, Saul and I have an Arcane Denial trigger. I will draw 1.
I can choose to not draw any cards.
Yes, it's up to 2.
I'm gonna draw 1 because I can't be scared into submission.
Okay, because you drew 1, I will draw 1 from Psychic Possession.
And then I will draw 3 cards, thanks to Howling Mine and the Anvil.
Correct. And because of Fairy Mastermind, I will draw 1 because you drew your second card in there.
Urza Saga will tick up to 3. I am going to tap 2 mana and activate my Urza Saga, and I will make 1 more construct. The Urza Saga will sacrifice to its trigger, and I will dig through my library for a Soul Ring.
Ooh.
All right, I will tap the Soul Ring for 2 mana, and I'm going to play a Lightning Greaves for 1. Then I am going to play a Brotherhood Regalia.
Nice.
This is one of the Assassin's Creed equipments, and it's pretty good. It gives my cards unblockable at an incredibly cheap rate. And with the Lightning Greaves out, that means that any creature I attach these to is pretty much untouchable. You can draw from Mystic Study if you want Josh to draw.
I won't.
Both those trigger my SRAM, so I'll draw 2 cards, and then I will equip both to my Construct.
Yep.
I'm gonna move both of my copies of the Bloodforged Battle Axe over to the Fervent Champion, and then I'm gonna go to combat. Saul, I'm swinging at you with the Rebel. Allie, I'm swinging at you with the Fervent Champion, and Josh, I'm swinging at you with the Construct. On that attack, my Glimmer Lens will trigger, so I will draw a card, and then I'm going to pay for 1 and activate Windbrisk Heights, because I did attack with 3 or more creatures this turn. And from exile, I will cast
the Hideaway card,
Gold Warden's Gambit.
Oh.
It's not that impressive. I basically make 5 2/2 Rebel creature tokens that gain haste. And I'm gonna decide to attach no equipment to it.
A turn or 2 ago, this would have been pretty good for Jimmy. Right now, I think it's fine.
That's
It's a
actually
tough
so
hideaway
cool.
card for that hideaway.
Yeah.
The only way to ever get it would be after combat.
Yeah.
Go to blocks.
Only Sal can block.
I will be blocking the Rebel with my 5/5 Gremlin.
So let's go to damage. We have first strike damage from the Fervent Champion.
I'll take 11, going to 29.
Okay, I've got a bunch of triggers here. Draw from Mask of Memory and Zephyr Boots. I have a really cute interaction here thanks to the first strike on my Fervent Champion. The Bloodforged Battle Axes will all trigger, and I'll make 4 more of them. It hits first, which makes me a ton of copies of Bloodforged Battle Axe, and then I can move the axes onto one of my attackers, and I will equip all of them onto this singular Rebel that is still coming at you, Saul. Also, my Construct gets even bigger, and Josh is taking more damage than he thought he was gonna take. I will untap all of my lands.
I will discard a Rampant Growth.
Okay, go to regular damage.
Go to regular damage.
So I'm gonna take 18 now?
18,
Just
yeah.
4 more? Okay. Go to 10. Jeez Louise.
And I declared the Gremlin as the blocker for the Rebel.
So the Rebel will trade. In my second main, it's time finally. Let's tap 2 and bring out my commander, Nahiri, Forged in Fury.
Prepare to face my wrath!
Oh, I forgot you had a commander.
Yeah.
It's a testament to Jimmy's deck building that his deck has popped off in the way that it has without having his commander on the field.
Ristic Study, I will not pay for it.
Okay, I will draw.
All right, and I'll draw also because of Psychic Possession.
Cool. I will then equip the Sword of Feast and Famine to my other construct. And then I will cast one of our favorite people on the planet. It's Frodo, Determined Hero.
Mr. Frodo!
When he enters the battlefield, I will automatically equip the Glimmer Lens onto him.
Ristic trigger on Frodo.
I will not pay.
And I will not draw.
And that's going to do it for me. I'll pass the turn to you, Allie. Putting Josh at a really low life total is super attractive on this board state because we all just saw the power level of what he could do last turn. That means if Allie has anywhere to go with her Trampler, it's probably his direction.
Okay, on your end step, Jimmy. Since there have been 10 cards drawn by my opponents this turn, I am going to flash out Psychosis Crawler for free.
Time for some big brain plays.
Ooh. All right, so Jimmy's ending his turn, and I don't think Allie's gonna draw as many cards as he has. So I'm gonna take a shot here. And it's possible it could even lead to me winning the game. It just depends on if I get lucky.
Ristic study trigger?
Yeah.
He said tiredly.
You're tired of your own Ristic study trigger? We did it!
So funny.
We
Removal of my own Ristic study.
I will not pay.
I will not draw.
And then I'm gonna cast Even the Score. Which we might remember from earlier, where X is equal to 10.
Oh, you're gonna draw so many cards.
So many cards.
Because of Psychosis Crawler, you will each lose 10 life.
Wow, okay.
Ouch.
I know that my life can take the 10 damage, but it's more so the fact that Josh Lee Kwai is drawing another 10 cards.
If I get another X draw spell or a couple of mana rocks to give me colored mana, I could be really sitting pretty. 7, 8, 9, 10.
He's gonna draw a bunch, but he's kind of limited on mana, so that is a little scary for him.
That is, yeah, that's fair.
Unfortunately, I don't get anything impactful enough to keep this going. I have a couple of things I can cast, but they're not gonna be enough to end the game. It's a little disappointing. That was a 13 mana value spell, so I will make a 13/13 flying shark.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
I am going to cast Everflowing Chalice, and I'll kick it 5 times. And then I will also flash out a Wandering Archaic. Ristic Study.
I will not draw from the Ristic Study.
And then that is all I can do on the end step there, so Allie, take it away.
Let's see what I can do. I really feel like I'm flying under the radar here, which is working to my benefit. Upkeep trigger for Primordial Hydra at the beginning of my upkeep. I will double the number of +1/+1 counters on Primordial Hydra.
Oh boy.
So now it's a 36.
36.
Ooh, I forgot that this card just naturally doubles its +1/+1 counters, so it is a big time beater now.
I forgot that it's only been like one turn cycle.
It has been, it has been.
Things are getting spicy.
Draw 3.
I will draw for Fairy Mastermind, and that's gonna trigger Psychosis Crawler, so you will each lose 1.
Okay, I will tap Selvala to add 36 mana to my mana pool.
Crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't really think of the fact that the Primordial Hydra was gonna double and then she would get that amount of mana. Oh, we might be dead.
The question is
dead.
how we're gonna do this. Now I get to do the thing.
Look at this bee. Maybe an even bigger Hydra with trample and haste?
The truth of the matter is, if it's really bad, I will counter it. So, can she do 2 things? That's what I'm worried about.
I have 36, I will say black mana floating in my mana pool, and
Okay.
I will cast an Exsanguinate.
Let's tweet and
Oh, Exsanguinate!
Exsanguinate.
But
My
can Josh
favorite way.
Stop it.
Okay, so this is big and scary, obviously gonna kill us all, and I have to stop it. So X is equal to 34,
34 because of my 36 mana, yeah.
but which is gonna mean X is equal to 68?
Well, Unbound Flourishing, so it copies it. It doesn't double.
Oh, so there's two,
yeah. So
there's
for
two
permanents,
Exsanguinates on the
yeah. So
Oh, so
yeah.
even if we counter one of them,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell that has X in its mana value, I will copy that spell.
Oh no, I thought that the Unbound Flourishing doubled all of our X spells, but if it's an instant or sorcery, it creates a copy. So there's 2 things on the stack. I only have 1 counter spell.
I think this is it. I think we're all gonna die.
I mean, first of all, Wandering Archaic triggers.
I will pay for the Wandering Archaic. It's
You'll
3
pay-
mana.
it's 2.
2 mana. I will tap my
Are
Soul
you
Ring.
sure that you want to do that?
For the
I
copy
think
too,
I am.
right?
Yeah.
Ristic Study trigger.
I will not pay.
Whoa!
You can have that.
All right,
Yeah,
I
may
will
as
go
well.
ahead and draw.
Okay, I'll draw. Fine it.
Saul.
Saul?
The anticipation is killing me. I just want to know if these are gonna resolve.
I used up all my food. I think my goose is cooked.
Well, I mean, I'll tap my Ornithopter for a blue and I'll play Commit. Of Commit to Memory. I won't pay for Ristic. Go ahead, draw. All right, so I'm gonna counter 1 thing, and then this 1 draw off of Saul's Ristic Study will give me 1 chance, 1 shot, 1 opportunity, Mom Spaghetti, but the problem is I only have colorless mana available to me, so I don't even think there's anything in my deck that will do anything, but let's look at the card. I'll draw. Nothing. I got nothing.
I have nothing.
So Exsanguinate resolves,
Exsanguinate is gonna
and we
resolve.
all take 34, and you gain
And
a
I
bajillion.
gain however much life.
So we all die by having our life force sucked out by Exsanguinate.
Wow! Good game. Good game.
a game.
Wow. Commit this to memory. I just beat the game nights on game nights. I win!
What an explosive game of Commander.
I'm really happy I was able to just kind of sit back, build my own board, come out of nowhere, and be able to sweep it.
And Allie, man, she played such a great game. She didn't even need my blank check deal.
Every year, the fan episode is one of my favorite moments. Allie and Saul were just breaths of fresh air and really great energy, and we just had a blast hanging out with them.
Today has been filled with so much excitement. Everybody has just been fantastic.
When we finally got to sit down, all the nervousness that I had been feeling was beginning to cool down because everyone had made it very clear we want a fun game and we're all here to support you. It meant the world.
The fans are what make this whole thing possible. Without the support of our patrons and the people that watch our videos, we wouldn't be able to sit here and make this stuff for you.
If you're thinking about auditioning, I say do it. It is one of the coolest experiences to be able to come out here and just play a game that we all love.
You gotta audition. Just put it out there. There are moments where I still wonder, like, why me? All these things that make you excited about Magic, that's what makes it special. Because that story is yours.
Well, I mean,
Amazing.
First of all, huge thanks to Saul and Allie, who were just delights and did an amazing job on the show.
They showed up, they came to play, and they had, I think, iconic games, both of them.
For sure, that turn where you go Soul Ring and Aristocrat turn 2, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those games.
And it was one of those games, Allie discarding a Cyclonic Rift.
Oh, when she discarded that Cyclonic Rift, I was like, if that's the worst card in your hand, we are in trouble. And spoiler alert, we were in trouble, yeah.
And typically one counter spell is enough to stop someone like that, but Unbound Flourishing.
I was like, I got a counter in hand. She can't win on this turn, right?
Yeah, and then she did.
She did.
There's a Psychic Possession on Aristic Study too.
I like that. I was proud of that moment.
70 Bloodforged Battle Axes. Yeah, that's Commander at its best.
What a game. Huge congratulations to Allie for the win, but definitely congratulations to both of our fans for coming on and really showing up and really doing an amazing job. And that dovetails really well into something exciting that's going on right now. If you would like to sit in the seats that were just filled by Saul and Allie, if you'd like to be the fan on the next fan episode of Game Nights, well, you have your chance right now. We have opened auditions. It is that time of year. If you want to be on next year's fan episode,
ooh, yeah,
this is your chance.
Yep, all you have to do is check out the link in the show notes for all of the information, but the basic gist is you need to be a patron of the show. It's totally okay to sign up for the Patreon just to audition.
Yep, patrons at any level are eligible.
We will fly you into our Los Angeles studio, and the audition you have to submit. There are very specific instructions, so make sure you read carefully through all of the details in that link on the show notes. That's gonna be really important.
Another big one is you do need to be 18 years old.
Yes.
Sorry, that's just a legal thing. There's some terms and conditions, but again, click that link in the show notes, and we love to see your auditions. We get hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of them every single
Really
year.
exciting.
But we do pick 2 people, and they really come out here and they have a great time, and we always love hanging out with them.
Yeah, so if you want an opportunity of a lifetime to do what Allie and Sal did to us that game, perhaps even scarier next time, who knows? Check out the link. The Patreon auditions are live right now, and we are so excited to see them.
And of course, before we go, let's talk about our sponsors. CardKingdom.com/command is the best place to go to get your Magic products, singles, anything at all. If you're looking at foundations, if you're trying to still get caught up on things like Duskmourn, or I'm even still behind on like Modern Horizons 3 and things like that. Yeah, there's so many good cards that have come out this summer, and if you're still getting caught up, CardKingdom.com/command, the best place to go to pick up that stuff. You get it all in one cart. They have a huge inventory. They have all of the cards you're looking for and the conditions and the versions that you're looking for. You put it all into one cart, you hit checkout, it all shows up in one package on your doorstep. You can just sleeve it up and just get to playing. That's the thing we love the most about Card Kingdom. We trust them ourselves for things like Game Nights Live and all of our events and things to get us the cards without any mistakes in the time that they say they're gonna get them to them. So that's the biggest endorsement we can give, is that we truly do use Card Kingdom, the service, all the time.
And we also use Ultra Pro as a service, ultrapro.com/command, the decks that are sleeved up on Game Nights Live. We trust Ultra Pro's technology, whether it's the sleeves, the deck boxes, the playmats, or more. They've got so much stuff on their website. The only way to find out what all of that stuff is to go to ultrapro.com/command. Use that affiliate link, get the amazing deals and the things that you're looking for to make your game accessories game go up. That's a whole nother game.
Level up your game accessories game.
Yeah, exactly. And also, every single episode of Game Nights, we are so fortunate because Ultra Pro gives us stuff to give away to you, the people watching this episode. So in order to enter to win some of this amazing stuff, including the playmats that we played on, signed by the guests of Game Nights.
And us.
And us, of course. Go ahead, and there are 3 ways to enter. The first is is on X or Twitter. All you have to do is send a tweet out using the hashtag Game Nights, that's Nights with a K, and a link to this episode. Say whatever you want. The second way is on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page, find the post that is sharing this episode, and in the comments, tag a friend, maybe a friend that you think should audition for the next Game Nights fan episode.
Yeah, or that has a really cool deck. They should be on the show for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So tag them in the comments and that's how you enter there. And finally, you can just go on Instagram and just use the hashtag Game Nights for whatever post you want. The only stipulation for all of these entries is that you have 1 week from the release date of this episode to get your entry in. There are 3 ways to enter. That means you get 3 times the chances to win if you use all 3. But no worries, just do whatever you can, and we look forward to seeing those entries as well as the comments on the video. We can't wait to see what you all think of this episode.
Yeah, big thanks to Ultra Pro for giving us the swag to give away to you, and also thanks to Ultra Pro because we have one more thing to talk about here. We have launched a Kickstarter for the new Game Nights themed deck box, which is made by Ultra Pro. It is in their Mythic Alcove style.
So good.
Yeah, it's super classy. It has the orange. I don't know if you've noticed, but orange is kind of our color.
Yeah.
It has the orange logo, the orange stitching. It has a beautiful interior. And in fact, speaking of the interior, for the first time, we are offering signed deck boxes, a version that's signed on the Kickstarter. If you want Jimmy, myself, Rachel, in that nice silver pen to sign your deck box, we will do that.
It looks incredible. And the deck box itself is just an incredibly high quality product.
Yeah.
That's really the best thing that we can say about this. I use it to literally hold every single one of my Commander decks. I've used it to travel all around the world, to Europe, all across America, and I have trusted this deck box to keep my cards safe through airport security, through long flights, and deliver them in pristine condition to that next battlefield. So if you want to add something to your collection that's going to last the test of time and just be an absolute staple, check out the Kickstarter right now.
All right, well, thanks everybody for watching, for supporting our content, and thanks to the fans for auditioning. We can't wait to see this next round and figure out who's gonna be on the fan episode next year.
All right, everybody, we'll see you next time.
Peace. If there's a camera coming towards you, the urge to bite it is just very, yeah.